I want to let you in on a little secret. It's one that many gardeners learn the hard way. You might think the biggest threats to your beautiful tomato plants are those pesky hornworms or, forgetting to water on a hot day. But more often than not, the real trouble starts long before you even see a pest. The truth is, the very foundation of your garden, the soil itself, is likely the main reason your tomato harvest isn't what you dreamed it would be. It's the unseen saboteur, working quietly beneath the surface. And it's time we gave it the attention it deserves. Before we dig in, if you love simple, heartfelt tips for your home and garden, be sure to click the subscribe button in the lower right corner for more stories like this one. You can do everything else right. You can choose the perfect sunny spot, build beautiful raised beds, and water your plants with so much care. Yet, you still end up with small, tasteless tomatoes or plants that look weak and yellow. It can feel so discouraging, like all your hard work was for nothing. The problem is that unhealthy soil can't deliver the vital nutrients and support your tomato plants need to thrive. It's like building a beautiful house on a crumbling foundation. No matter how lovely the structure is, it simply won't be strong. Your tomatoes are reaching for help, but the ground beneath them just doesn't have anything left to give. So, what are the signs of this hidden problem? Many gardeners miss them because they look like other issues. You might see yellowing leaves and assume your plants need more water, when they are actually starved for nitrogen. Or maybe the leaves are curling up, which you might blame on the summer heat, but it could signal a nutrient imbalance deep in the soil. Another subtle clue is stunted growth. If your tomato plants just seem stuck, refusing to grow bigger despite your best efforts, their roots are likely struggling to push through dense, compacted earth. These are whispers from your garden, telling you to look down, not up. Healthy soil, on the other hand, is a joy to work with. It tells its own beautiful story. Good garden soil should look dark and rich, the color of dark chocolate. It should feel crumbly and light in your hands, not sticky like clay or gritty like sand. When you scoop some up, it should hold its shape if you gently squeeze it, but fall apart easily when you poke it. And don't forget the smell. Healthy soil has a wonderful, earthy, and slightly sweet scent. It smells alive. If your soil is hard, pale, and has no distinct smell, or worse, smells sour, it's a clear sign that it needs some love and attention before it can support a thriving tomato patch. Let's talk about the 3 biggest challenges your soil might be facing. First up are missing nutrients. Tomatoes are hungry plants and they need a balanced diet of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to grow strong and produce fruit. If your soil is lacking these key ingredients, your plants will show it. They'll have pale leaves, weak stems, and very few blossoms. The second major issue is compaction and poor drainage. If your soil is packed down too tightly, it's like concrete for your plants' delicate roots. They can't breathe and they can't spread out to find water and food. Water will either pool on the surface, drowning the roots, or run right off without sinking in. The third big problem, and one that's often overlooked, is the soil's pH level. This is just a measure of how acidic or alkaline your soil is. Tomatoes are a little particular. They prefer their soil to be slightly acidic. If the pH is too high or too low, the plants can't absorb the nutrients that are already in the soil. It's like the pantry is full, but the door is locked. Your plants can be swimming in nutrients but still be starving because the wrong pH makes those nutrients unavailable to them. All 3 of these issues, missing nutrients, compaction, and pH imbalance, can turn your gardening dreams into a real challenge. The good news is, you don't need a fancy lab to start understanding your soil. You can do a simple squeeze test. Grab a handful of moist soil and squeeze it. If it forms a hard, slick ball that doesn't crumble, you have heavy clay. If it won't form a ball at all and feels gritty, you have sandy soil. What you want is something in between, a ball that holds together but breaks apart easily. For a drainage test, dig a small hole, fill it with water, and see how long it takes to drain. If it's gone in a few minutes, your drainage is too fast. If it's still there hours later, your soil is too dense. These simple observations give you powerful clues. If you want to get more specific, a professional soil test is a great investment. The report might seem intimidating, but it's really just a report card for your garden's foundation. It will give you a precise pH level and tell you exactly which nutrients are low. For tomatoes, you're looking for a pH between 6.0 and 6.8. The test will also show levels for NPK, which stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Low nitrogen leads to yellow plants, low phosphorus can cause purple leaves and poor fruiting, and low potassium results in weak stems. Your plants themselves will also send signals, like yellow leaves with green veins, which often points to a magnesium or iron deficiency. Learning to read these signs is like learning your garden's language. No matter what kind of soil you have, heavy clay, loose sand, or something in between, the single best thing you can do for it is add compost. I think of compost as the ultimate fixer-upper for the garden. It's a beautiful, dark, crumbly material made from decomposed organic matter like leaves and kitchen scraps. When you mix compost into your soil, it works magic. For dense clay soil, it adds air pockets, improving drainage and making it easier for roots to grow. For sandy soil that drains too quickly, compost acts like a sponge, helping it hold on to water and nutrients so your plants can use them. Adding organic matter is the foundation of fixing your soil, but sometimes you need a more targeted approach. If your soil test shows that your pH is too acidic, you can mix in a little garden lime to raise it. If it's too alkaline, adding elemental sulfur or peat moss will help make it more acidic for your tomatoes. For specific nutrient deficiencies, you can add amendments. For example, bone meal is a great natural source of phosphorus, which helps with flower and fruit development. Blood meal or feather meal can provide a much-needed boost of nitrogen. The key is to add these things thoughtfully, based on what your soil actually needs. Once you've fixed the immediate problems, you can start thinking about long-term health. Two wonderful practices for this are crop rotation and planting cover crops. Crop rotation simply means you don't plant tomatoes in the same spot year after year. This helps prevent the buildup of soil-borne diseases that specifically target tomatoes. It also gives the soil a chance to recover, as different plants take up different nutrients. One year you might have tomatoes, the next you could plant beans, which actually add nitrogen back into the soil. It's a simple way to create a more balanced and resilient garden ecosystem. Cover crops are another beautiful way to care for your soil, especially over the winter. Instead of leaving your garden beds bare, you can plant something like clover, vetch, or winter rye in the fall. These crops act as a living blanket, protecting your soil from erosion caused by wind and rain. They also prevent weeds from taking over. Then, in the spring, you simply till these plants back into the ground. As they decompose, they release valuable nutrients and add more of that wonderful organic matter, leaving your soil even healthier and more prepared for the next season of tomatoes. It's a cycle of giving back to the ground that gives so much to us. When you take the time to truly fix your soil, the change is nothing short of remarkable. It's a transformation you can see and taste. Those once stunted yellowing plants will stand tall and strong, with deep green leaves that soak up the sun. You'll notice more blossoms on the vines, and those blossoms will turn into an abundance of fruit. The difference isn't just in the quantity of your harvest, but in the quality. Tomatoes grown in nutrient-rich, well-draining soil are juicier, sweeter, and have that classic homegrown flavor that you just can't buy at the store. This is the reward for all your hard work. The joy of gardening deepens when you start to work with your soil, not against it. It becomes less about fighting problems and more about nurturing life from the ground up. There is a profound sense of connection that comes from knowing you've created a healthy home for your plants. You're not just a gardener, you're a caretaker of a small piece of the earth. Every time you add compost or rotate your crops, you're building a foundation that will continue to get better and better each year. This sustainable approach makes gardening more enjoyable and much more successful in the long run. Imagine stepping out into your garden on a warm summer evening. The air is filled with the sweet, earthy scent of tomato plants. The vines are heavy with clusters of bright red, orange, and yellow fruit, all glistening in the golden light. You reach out and pick a sun-warmed tomato, its skin smooth and firm. This is the moment that makes it all worthwhile. This is the beautiful result of paying attention to what's happening beneath the surface and giving your soil the care it needs to thrive. It's a testament to the simple, powerful truth that great gardens start with great soil. So as you plan your next garden, I encourage you to look down first. Get your hands dirty, learn the story of your soil, and give it the love it deserves. The satisfaction of harvesting a basket full of perfect homegrown tomatoes is one of life's simplest and most beautiful pleasures. It's a delicious reminder that when we take the time to build a strong foundation, we can create something truly wonderful. The journey from struggling plants to an abundant harvest begins right there in the rich, dark, and living earth of your garden.